Hello and welcome to another EBTV sports presentation. We're here tonight for high school wrestling where the East Brunswick Bears host to the South Amboy Panthers. And I'm Stu Kohn, and I'm being joined by Jeff Yannazzo. How you doing tonight, Jeff?
Good, Stu. Glad to be with you.
And Jeff, how do you see tonight's matchup?
Well, I never look at matchups because, we have two experienced coaches here that can really jockey the lineups around. But if you look at the two teams coming in, East Brunswick's coming in off a 2-1 record, their only loss being to that powerhouse South Plainfield, so that's no judge. And now you're looking at Perth Amboy coming in, where they just knocked off perennial power Old Bridge. So it's going to be an exciting match. And both teams, I think, are really psyched. We both have young wrestlers on both teams, so it's going to be one of those matches where there's a lot of adrenaline going.
And where do you see the strength of the East Brunswick lineup?
Well, the strength at East Brunswick, we have Ackerman, but I think the premier guy this year is probably Sergio Garcia at 160.
And where should we look in the Perth Amboy lineup for their leader?
At the Perth Amboy lineup, that's 119. That's
Gabriel.
Gabriel Roman,
yeah.
And only a sophomore, and I believe he's 7-0 or something like that.
Good start.
He's tough. He's really tough.
So for Jeff Yannazzo and Stu Kohn, we'll be right back with tonight's action. Hi, I'm Stu Kohn, and I'm being joined by Jeff Yannazzo. Captains are on the mat, and we're deciding who's going to be home and away. Tonight, the East Brunswick Bears take on the Perth Amboy Panthers in a Red Division matchup. Our official for tonight is Fred Pioni. Looks like Perth Amboy has won the choice, and they will have choice of odd or even. Both teams are making it easy for us tonight. Perth Amboy, Jeff's coming in red singlets, and East Brunswick in green, so that should help everybody with the scoring.
Especially the referee.
The referee has on wristbands, and Jeff, you just want to tell us a little bit about how that works.
Well, every time a point is scored, it's either going to be the away team or the home team. Home team is always green, so the green hand will go up if it's the home team scoring points. The away team for the red, if the away team scoring points. So right now it's very simple for everybody.
All right, and tonight's contest starts at 2:15. The weight classes are drawn, the order to begin, and tonight we're starting at the 215-pound weight class.
Perth Amboy, we have Russ Santana at 215. I'm reading some of his information here. He's been wrestling for about 7 years. He's got a career record of 35-21. That's his varsity. He's a very good student. He's 3.2 GPA. He's a senior. And he's also a varsity football player and baseball player. I'm sorry. Wants to go to college.
He's off to a quick 2-0 start.
Right, looking right for that side cradle.
And it's Jimmy Ryder up to his feet for 1 point. He'll get an escape. Brings our score to 2-1 here in the first period. We're 30 seconds into our first bout. See Santana wearing a knee brace on his left knee.
Right. Nice. He's got a nice deep double going in there. He bumps over to the side. East Brunswick has to completely roll through and get to his stomach. He doesn't want to give up any more points than 2. All right, so that was a 2-2. And now 1 neutral.
So we're at 6-1 with just 1 minute into this match. Plenty of scoring so far.
Yes, there is. Unfortunately, when you're on your feet this early in the match, you start to gas a little bit. And what they have to do is really pace themselves a little more. Takedowns take more out of you than anything. There's another double. Lifting them off the mat, which takes too much energy.
Quite a bit. So when we go out of bounds, we restart in the center. We start in the same position that we're in when they went out. So we're neutral when we go out of bounds, so we're going to restart neutral in the middle.
East Brunswick has good defense there. You notice he's got a real nice sprawl. Now he comes in for himself, shoots for the single. Here's another double by Perth Amboy. He's picking it up and driving again. He's got a nice finish on that because he goes right for back points right away.
So early on, we're at 10-2, first period still. Santana on top of Ryder here in our first bout. Santana on top in position and on top in score.
Okay, Ryder's got a chance to score 1 right here. That's it. Now, he doesn't want to give up another takedown. We've got 15 seconds left. He's just got to hold good position here. He's got to get his hips back. Stay on the mat. He gave him 2. All right, Santana was able to keep his toes in bounds on that.
Brings our score to 12-2. 2 seconds to go in the first period.
Definitely high scoring, Stu, for the first period.
First choice.
Amboy has choice. He's going to defer his choice, which means he'll have choice. Should there be a third period?
All right, let's see what East Brunswick will take here.
Looks like we're just going to get a quick break in the action.
We're
going to move the scorer's table back.
For the safety of the wrestlers, we're going to try and keep them away from the mat.
Safety of the wrestlers is #1 priority. Sportsmanship's a close second.
Oh, yeah. You know, a lot of people think this is a dangerous, rough sport, but when you think about it, you have one official for 2 guys.
Red defers, green takes defense.
Okay, green's down. He's going to look to score points here, but he's really got to keep track of that score. All right, we don't want this to end up into a technical, because when you start adding up more than 3 team points, those points come back to haunt you at the end of the match somewhere.
Well, Ryder's had good success getting up to his feet.
Yeah,
he's explosive on bottom.
That's what you want to do. Whenever you're in trouble point-wise, you want to keep standing up, because, you know, you're not exposing your back in any way. And here he is, he's scoring points right now.
Doing a nice job there. It's going to be at least 1.
All right, that's a 1. Nice job.
Well, Santana lost control, so even though Ryder didn't face him, he gets to 1 point. So we're at 12-4. 30 seconds into the second period.
The official wants them to keep moving. He wants to keep the pace of this match going. Santana likes that double. He's in there all the time shooting.
That's been Santana's strength thus far into the match.
And like I said before, he does have a beautiful finish when he goes right for back points, because he's always trying to score a couple more points. Right now he's working a tough crossface. But Ryder, now he's working back up to his knees. He's doing a good job. He's staying in position all the time. He's keeping his elbows in so he can't give up any halves or anything like that.
Only a sophomore.
Wrestling very smart for a sophomore. Now he can back out. If he can try and back out and keep his balance, he may be able to score a point here.
Santana in on a standing Merkle.
Yeah.
Brings it back down to the mat. Looks like he's lost a little bit of steam that he came out with in the first period. Like you had said, Jeff, wrestling in 6 minutes is a long time out there.
And when you're going crazy in the first period on your feet, boy, that takes it out of you.
Ryder wants to face him now and get 1.
There you go. And you can look at Ryder, the look on his face. He is not tired at all.
No, he's closing that gap.
Yep.
He was down 12-2. He's brought it back to 5-14. Needs to stay aggressive. I've said it before, and I've said it many times sitting here. The best defense is a strong offense.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That brings us to the end of the third period. Santana had deferred his choice. That means he'll have choice now in the third.
Injury time.
And he's calling it injury time. We get a look at Santana and our official on the mat.
Yeah, something's going on. Maybe he might be suffering from maybe a flu or a bug or something. Or, you know, sometimes they get gassed right away and are breathing, you know, trying to suck in some air. It's a tough sport.
So what's Santana need to do here in the third, Coach?
Well, we're looking at the score right now, 14-5. He doesn't want East Brunswick to creep back anymore. He'd like to score some more points. If he's not sick, he looks like there's something going on. His face is really flushed, so I don't think he's going to come back with a whole head of steam here. What we want out of East Brunswick is to score more points. We want to close that gap. It'd be nice if he loses to lose with a 3-point decision.
Well, tell us how that works while we have a break in the action.
Well, a normal match where you win by less than 8, it's a 3-point decision, and that goes up for the team. Now, a technical is 15 or more points in your opponent, and then they get 5.
Okay, so right now we have a 9-point gap. So what Ryder wants to do is try to get that to 8 or less.
Exactly. All right, because, you know, if you're working for the team, if you're working to help your team win the match, and you forget about the just the individual bouts, you want to keep those scores low. You want to end up, if you can't win, you want to end up walking off that mat with only a 3-point team score. And Ryder's coming on strong now.
Ryder on top.
He's trying. Okay, here comes. That was a nice switch by Santana. Ryder was trying to Turk over that leg, but he just couldn't quite get it. Here comes a Turk of his own.
Ryder stepping in. Turns and faces him.
There's another point scored. So now we're flip-flopping a bit, Stu. He's got to get his hips back here. He's got to kick that leg down. Oh.
So that brings us to 16-6, and 2 more makes it 18. On that takedown. More like a dual meet score than a bout score.
I agree.
Now Ryder can't give up any more points. He wants
Not
to
at
keep
all.
this at a decision or a major at the worst. Doesn't want to make it a tech fall.
The major,
obviously doesn't want to get pinned, so
right,
Ryder needs to stay busy out there.
The major is worth 4, and that's what, 8 or more, right, Stu?
8 or less, right? 8 or more,
8
correct.
or more.
I'm sorry.
So that's okay. And I mean, we'd like to see him get out of this with 3, but if not, then he's got to go for 4, but definitely not a tech fall. And I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, Santana certainly lost a little bit of the steam he had in the first period.
I agree with you 100%. You can hear Coach Pazinko over there telling him to start to crank it up because, as you said before, when your offense gets cranked up and you put that guy back on his heels a little bit, you're going to make things happen for yourself. What do we got there, Stu?
Both men are warned for stalling. It is the obligation of both wrestlers to stay aggressive. Our official, Fred Pioni, thought both wrestlers were lightening up a little bit, so they're both warned for stalling. Now, in the second stalling call would be a 1-point penalty.
You know, Stu, you could probably tell people better than anybody else about the mentality of a heavyweight, about keeping those big guys off your back and things like that, because not only are you pressing your weight off the mat, you're pressing another 200 pounds off the mat. A lot of people don't understand that heavyweights move slower. They don't like to be on bottom for that reason. They like to be up on their feet.
And one of the objects of wrestling is get the opponent to carry your weight and stay. You'll hear the term "stay heavy" on him as Santana's in on a takedown. We stopped for some reason. We got 2-point takedown per Amboy.
I don't know what happened there. Was that an inverted whistle?
I think if it was football, that's what we would call it. We're going to get a new start. To the grimace of the Perth Amboy coach.
Yeah, I'm looking over there now, and he's becoming quite animated, which I can understand.
East Brunswick catches a little break there with 7 seconds to go. That score is 20-7. So for the last 7 seconds, we need Jimmy Ryder here to stay busy out there, not go to his back.
That's it. Try and face him. Here we go. Get your legs back. Get your hips back. If you can protect your hips in this sport, you're way ahead of the game.
So it's going to give us a 20-8 score and make that a 4-point major decision.
Perth Amboy coach is not happy.
I've been out there as an official, and I certainly know the feeling. And as easy as it looks out there officiating, it really isn't what it appears to be, and it does happen. And unfortunately, sometimes you have to beat more than one person out there. You have to beat the official too. Sometimes it works for you, sometimes it works against you.
You hate to feel that way, and I know it's always unintentional. It's just, you know, things happen.
And you and I have, as coaches and ex-wrestlers, have been on both sides of that. So our next weight class is heavyweight. And our team score is 4-0. And who do we have on the mat now, Jeff?
Okay, for Perth Amboy, we have Argenis Minaya. And he's at heavyweight. His record for the season is 8-2. And it's also his career record, so this must be his first year varsity. He's at grade 11. He's been wrestling for 4 years as far as this goes. It says here his most memorable match was the Old Bridge Perth Amboy match, which I can understand.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, he doesn't have much here, but as you know, the great Old Bridge coach Kenny Scott has retired, and from what I understand, the team might be going through a little transition, with a new coach. Not much because his longtime assistant took over, but when you look, you just don't expect anybody around here except South Plainfield to knock off an Old Bridge team. And Perth Amboy did it, and they did it, like I said before, with 6 underclassmen. So
first time in the history, Perth Amboy.
That's their first time. So now they have 2 big landmarks. Years back, they beat North Hunterdon, a good North Hunterdon team.
Forward, I'm hitting you for stalling. Let's go.
There's not a lot of teams out there in the GMC Red Division over the last 20 years that could say they've beaten Old Bridge. I know East Brunswick has a few times, and South Plainfield has a few times when they're in the Red Division. But outside of those 2 teams, not too many teams have that bragging right.
Exactly, and they've been a powerhouse. God, I remember when it used to be Cedar Ridge, Madison Central, both extremely tough teams.
So East Brunswick's warned for stalling here at heavyweight. Referee feels East Brunswick wrestlers backing up. You cannot back up on your feet. You need to move forward or circle at all times. We're at 0-0 with 1:15 left to go in the first period here at heavyweight.
You could see these heavyweights going pummeling, looking for an underhook, because the heavyweights like to throw. Heavyweights don't like to shoot, go down towards their knees, because you got to remember your opponent's going to come crashing down on top of you, and that's a lot of weight to support.
Both guys are about the same size. Looks like Perth Amboy might have a slight weight advantage here.
Blood time, blood time.
All right, we got blood time coming up here.
Okay, so each bout, you can have a cumulative total of 5 minutes for blood. Unlike injury time, where it's only 90 seconds and limited to 2 stoppages, blood you have 5 minutes and unlimited number of times as long as it does not exceed the 5 minutes. So we're locked at 1. If we get a look over at East Brunswick's bench, I see a guy in a yellow shirt, and I think his name is Yannazzo. How's it feel seeing your son over there?
It's nice. Wrestling's always been a big part of my life, and when they were coming up, through rec and then through middle school and high school, the only thing I can say that's different now is when he was wrestling as a young kid, he never wanted to listen to me, and we never, I used to talk about technique, and he really didn't want to hear it. But now that he's coaching, we talk a lot about strategy and technique, and it's nice to hear him at least take my point of view, whether he believes it or not.
I'm sure it gets your pulse down a little bit compared to what he wrestles.
Oh my God. I was on high blood pressure medicine one year. And then when the 2 of them, when Nick was on too, it put me away.
So we're back at the action, and we're locked at 0 with 20 seconds to go in the first period at heavyweight. Both wrestlers just pummeling in,
there
looking for inside control.
Oh, now, as you can see, the idea is to try and get your opponent to stand up, because once you can get his center of gravity up in the air, you can usually get underneath him and trip him or throw him. And that's why when you'll see them pummeling like that and you'll see him struggling to lift the other guy, you're trying to get him off his center of gravity.
Right now we get a look at Coach Pazinko, Matt Pazinko, and his brother Glenn, the head coach, and Joe Shatari. So a good staff put together here.
Yes, a lot of wrestling experience over there. Joe was an accomplished wrestler over at South River. Matt, great wrestler over here at East Brunswick, and then he wrestled at Rutgers. And of course, we all know Glenn, up until last year, was the all-time record holder for wins, and he went and wrestled at North Carolina. So there's a lot of wrestling experience on that bench over there. Looking over here, the assistant coaches, Mark Parkhurst, Roberta Morales, and Jared Terrell. And as you said, Stu, Jared Terrell, he wrestled for Perth Amboy High School and then again went to Rider College, wrestled there. He was also a high school state place winner. So there's a lot of experience over there, too. I believe the head coach, Mike Giordano, has been coaching 15 years as the head coach over at Perth Amboy. And Glenn just told us this was his 16th year.
Okay.
So we have 2 veteran coaches.
And Mike really has been a fixture there at Perth Amboy. The perfect kind of coach for Perth Amboy. He really gets the numbers out and gets the most out of his wrestlers.
Absolutely. I mean, he was the perfect match. I know he's bounced around before he got to Perth Amboy. He was in Sayreville for a while. I believe he might have been somewhere else, a couple different places. But when he landed in Perth Amboy, he found a home, and the kids really responded to him. Like you said, he must have tripled the numbers, and he made them extremely respectable, not only in the county but in the region.
We're back with 11 seconds here at heavyweight in the first period. Joe pummeling in, trying to get inside control. Step on the line, we're going to get a fresh start. 4 seconds to go.
Now, as you can probably relate to this, those squat heavyweights are tough because you can't get them off their center of gravity
choice.
as well.
Green defers.
Both guys spent the first period just kind of feeling each other out. We had no score, unlike that 215-pound bout that went 20-8. He must have used up all the points here, and there's nothing left here at heavyweight as we're stuck at zeros.
All right, here's a short sit by the Perth Amboy wrestler. East Brunswick's holding on nice, riding. He's trying to snap him back, and
now, very important when you're on top, you can't lock your hands together unless you're in a pinning combination or it's a 1-point violation.
all
We
right.
got a 1-point escape. We're going to go neutral.
Now, he either it was an escape or a loss of control, correct?
He lost
For the one-
control. He didn't quite have the complete reversal inbounds, so the referee gave him 1 because East Brunswick no longer had control.
Right. And this doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing if the East Brunswick wrestler can get a takedown and then he pulls it ahead 2-1.
Well, at 0-0, you're better off giving up 1 than 2.
I think at this point, both wrestlers ought to forget about the throw and the headlock and just try and stick around the hips and try and, attack the legs. Somebody's going to get into trouble here.
Somebody's got to get low.
And, ooh, that was a bad mistake.
Well, Perth Amboy forcing the action.
The one thing that'll drive a coach nuts is when a guy tries to throw his man and he goes to his own back to throw him, or he goes to his knees to throw him. You don't ever want to see that.
Neither wrestler is, I would say, on the large side for heavyweight. These are two of the smaller heavyweights we've seen. We've seen much bigger here.
Here's an attempted trip.
East Brunswick is hit for stalling.
Okay, that's a 1.
Still backing up, Green. You got to move forward.
That's a second violation, so that leads to 1 point for Perth Amboy. That brings our score 2-0, and that could be a big point. We got another blood stoppage.
Now, Stu, is it still 1-1-2 and then DQ?
1-1-2 DQ, correct.
Okay.
The only thing that's changed a little bit about that rule is they're trying to encourage the official to call fleeing the mat. So fleeing the mat no longer is part of the penalty chart, where it's still a violation. It's no longer a technical violation.
Okay.
Locking hands, stalling, all technical violations go into the same category.
Okay.
Now, once the blood stops, the cleanup is not part of the injury time. So the clock has stopped, and they can continue to clean up.
Yeah, the nice thing about having Matt up on the staff is he can work with the big guys. You always need somebody up there to work with the heavyweights. Somebody to understand the mentality of the techniques.
Yeah, Matt's still got youth on his side. He can get away with that.
Oh, yeah.
Now, East Brunswick has to be careful. He needs to stay aggressive, needs to move forward or circle. He's been warned once for stalling. Like you said, every time it continues, it's going to be another 1-point violation. We're halfway through this bout. Perth Amboy on
here
top,
comes a trip,
2-0.
but they really... I don't care who's going to make the throw. Somebody better lock up a little tighter. Attempted headlock.
2-point takedown. Takes us to 4-0. We're at 4-0 in the team score and 4-0 in our bout score. Perth Amboy picking up back points.
Yeah.
East Brunswick trying to roll through.
East Brunswick is rolling through. He's just got to keep posting with that right arm. Nope. He's got to post. All right, he's out of trouble. But now he's got to work up to his base.
We're going to start the third period. Perth Amboy on top, 7-0.
Again, right here, he
Green
can't.
takes neutral.
He can't let up any points, and he's got to try and score a couple of his own to keep this to a 3-pointer again.
Both wrestlers trying to get inside control. This would be a key takedown if Perth Amboy could pick it up. That would bring it to 9-0 and get into that major decision area. So Joe needs to stay aggressive here.
Right, he's got to stay aggressive. He's got to keep his defense. And at the same time, of course, the official's not going to let him stall, so he's going to have to do some shooting of his own. Well, he's got to get in better position right here. Oh, no. He's
taken down to his back. It was pancake.
That was just a technical flaw right there. He leaned back.
Joe needs to belly down, get to his belly.
All right. The shoulder stayed inbound, so.
Well, at 4 minutes and 48 seconds, we have a fall. Brings our team score to 10-0 in favor of Perth Amboy.
Okay, now
we go back to the beginning. Now the little guys.
The little guys. And the little guys are always fun to watch, you know, fast. And, you know, I remember coaching. I remember, you know, trying to explain some techniques to upper weights. And, you know, you're going over stand-ups and just couldn't understand why they couldn't do certain things. And then one of them told me, they said, you expect me to do all that? You know, my job is just to get to my feet. And, you know, I understood that. But now you're going to see a lot more speed, a lot more motion.
On the mat, we got Chris Corona, the youngest of the 3 Corona brothers, taking the mat with some flashy-looking sneakers out there, Coach.
Yeah. For Perth Amboy, we have Wesley Mullins-Frederick. Number of years wrestling, 4. His record is 4, and it looks like 8.
Well, Chris has been on the mat, I think, for about his whole life.
Yeah.
It's in the family blood as Chris gives up a takedown on the edge.
I'm sure there's a lot of wrestling that goes on in the Corona house.
Oh, yeah.
Too.
Maybe even a couple punches in there.
Let's see, other sports that he plays, cross country and baseball. Over here for Perth Amboy.
Chris 2-3 on the season, a lacrosse player. Both his brothers have wrestled for East Brunswick.
Yeah, 2 good wrestlers. He run into Carmen a lot, and
Carmen advanced to the state tournament for East Brunswick.
Great kid, really nice kid.
Now at Rider College.
I think he might be at Middlesex now.
Okay.
I think. He's got to. All right. Chris has
goes
to
to his back, but it's on the other side of the line. So fortunately,
go down, Green.
He doesn't give up any back points. You got to know that mat area.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes that out of bounds line could be your best friend.
Sometimes you wish it was about 6 inches high and you could grab it and pull it, pull yourself off.
You just got to look at our team score. East Brunswick down 10-0. That can go away real fast in wrestling.
Face me, face me.
1 pin picks you up 6 right away. All right, well, what Chris needs really to do, he's got to come up, he's got to get hand control because Frederick is just picking that ankle. Now he's looking for a tilt.
So Chris kind of
he's looking
for
a
belly
tilt
down.
Here. Absolutely. Belly down first, then work up to your knees.
Looks like Chris giving a little bit of a size advantage here, a little bit outweighed.
I don't think Chris weighs more than probably 95 pounds.
Yeah, he's giving up a little bit of weight. At 103, sometimes you can get a big gap. You get a little guy out there against a 103, a true 103-pounder. And percentage-wise, it's a big difference.
Chris is fighting to get to his belly. He's just got to get that right arm through. If he can get his right arm through across his stomach, he's going to be able to belly down.
Well, Chris is a fighter. He's going to give everything he's got. Yep. Saved by the bell there. Gives up 3 back points, but it beats the pin.
He knows what to do. You know, he's been around wrestling long enough. He knows what he has to do to keep in this match.
Perth Amboy with choice. Takes top. Choosing the optional start. Doesn't let him go. I was going to say, if he's going to let him go, would have probably took neutral.
Yeah. All right. Now, again, Chris is near the line, so he.
Chris will give it everything he's got out there.
And when you work your techniques when you're near the line, you know, you always try and work them so that if anything happens, you just go out of bounds real quick. You don't give up any bad positions. Oh, we got a. All right, Fredericks has a double leg lace in there, and now he's shooting a half. He's going to look to tee up, try and get in better body position. And Chris really has to belly down here if he can. You know, I'm sure Giordano is probably telling Fredericks right now that you got to get chest on chest if you want to really pin him.
Chris needs the bridge here.
Yeah. This is where the neck muscles come in the best. Okay, there's a pin.
So Perth Amboy picks up a pin.
So now we got a 16 zip.
At 2 minutes and 58 seconds. Brings their lead to 16-0 after 3 bouts.
And now we go to 112. And let's see. Okay, we got Tony Schiavagno. That's the one they slipped in.
And it's Brant Shine making his varsity debut here as a freshman.
Right, this is debut for him. Let's see, I have no information at all on Tony.
Brant also enjoys golf, in on a single.
That's a nice single, I'll tell you.
Tried to run the pike.
Good,
Trip and bring him down, he'll pick up 2.
All right, he got in great position. He got behind him on that.
Referee didn't give him 2.
Oh, he didn't?
Didn't give him 2. Looked like his feet were in.
All right, now he's got to shrug out of that
No problem
front
for,
headlock.
No
But look at
Brant.
this.
He's in on it again.
And that's a trip.
Nice job.
Right into back points here. East Brunswick's going to be hoping right here to pick up 6 points. I can see it. I can see the look on the coach's faces. They really need it.
Well, Brant is coming on aggressive.
I'll say. And, you know, this is where you really have to do it for the team. You know, right now, I'm sure he knows, East Brunswick knows he's got the upper hand here and he can win this match. But now he's got to reach down inside and really look for a pin. He's got to get this score closer. So he's going to have to sacrifice some safe positions to come out towards the front and look for the turn.
Also at 112 for the Bears is Matt Ackerman, not in the lineup tonight, but off to a 6-0 start. We should mention, Coach.
Oh, yeah. Really, really wrestling well this year. I saw him against South Plainfield. He looked really good, really strong. Sergio, another one, looked really good up against South Plainfield.
The Bears certainly want to pick up some points here.
Yes,
at a Brant with Gabriel Roman for Perth Amboy due up next. One of the strong points in the Perth Amboy lineup.
Oh, yeah.
And only a sophomore.
I made a mistake with his record. He's 10-0.
Yeah, we'll give him 3 more wins.
Let's see now.
Well, Brant still in control, wants to hold on.
Okay, we're going to break that with a stalemate.
Good call for Brant. Brant needs to hold him down for 4 seconds.
Break him down, just hold him there.
Look for him to grab an ankle, tight waist. Look for him to try to hold him in position down for a few seconds.
Sure. You know, the more experience you get, when you look at the clock, you kind of know what you can get away with. You're not going to be able to hang on to an ankle forever, but when there's 4 seconds left, the official's not going to say too much.
So Brant's going to take a 2-0 lead. Choice of position. Brant's going to choose bottom. Feels he can get out.
Looking to score some points here. I noticed him trying to cross-face cradle before, and that would be nice if he could get that in. Right now, he's got to fight this leg right off. He's really, you know, one of the things they'll always tell you is a sit will usually cure most leg rides and arm bars. So he should sit right now.
Brant trying to go out the back door. If
He's
can
got to
grab
shake
him around the head.
He's got to shake him off his shoulders. Now he's coming out the back. Here we go.
He needs to just shake out there. He needs to just shake and bake a little bit.
Yeah, shake him right off. Now if he knows where he is, he can reach up and grab that head at the same time, and maybe instead of 2 reversal, might get 2 plus more.
Try to stack them up.
All right, nothing there.
Easy.
One hand behind the head is the potentially dangerous call. Looks like Brant hurt his shoulder, so we're going to have an injury timeout.
Perth Amboy's guy, it seems to be a nice leg wrestler there. You know, when I was watching South Plainfield, you always watch the good teams and you want to know what their team tendencies are. And I have to say, they are monsters with that cross-face cradle. Oh, God. I mean, they throw that from all over. They even throw it from the down position. I don't know how they get it.
Throw it from the parking lot.
Oh, my God. You know, there's 3 things that I noticed. They love the cross-face cradle, they love the Turk ride, and on top they love the high crotch. And they just use that series over and over again.
Absolutely.
And your better teams will have tendencies that they practice every day. Until it's drilled into them, they don't have to think about it, they just do it. All right, we need some hand control on bottom here.
We're 30 seconds into the second period.
Oh boy, I tell you, that's a frustrating guy to wrestle. A good leg wrestler.
Brant Shine on bottom for East Brunswick.
Now he's going to shake him again, and now he's got his head.
That's what he wants to do. Perfect. Going to stack him up.
There we go. Here we go. Now he's gonna put him right on his back. Now as soon as he starts fighting, now he gets his 2.
He's going to pick up 2, maybe some more.
That was real nice.
Didn't get the back points. You need to have control before you can get the back points. So good call by the official. Our scoreboard indicates 2-0, but I believe it's 4-0.
All right, now what he's got a nice front headlock in there, but I'd rather see him spin around behind and get control again before he gets shrugged right out of that.
You can't let go of the front head. So the stalemate call actually works to his advantage there. So Brant will get control. They'll restart in referee's position.
Okay, his shoulder's hurting, but I think he'll be able to fight through this.
Go.
You never really feel it till the next day. When he starts peeling those hands, you got to go back, maybe pick an ankle. You got to change it up a little bit here if you want to keep breaking your man down.
Brant in control as our second period's winding down. Doesn't want to give up anything here on the buzzer. Nice job by Brant. He's going to take a 4-0 lead into the third period. Looking to get East Brunswick on the team score, hopefully, after this bout.
Red takes offense. Red is up.
Red is up. So we know he's going to throw legs. So East Brunswick would probably want to sit and tuck an elbow in just to stop that leg from coming in. Here we go. Now, well, he could find himself in the same position again where he can shake him and grab that head.
Well, Brant needs to get off his knees. He wants to get himself high. He wants to elevate his hips.
Oh, and he wants to keep his back away from the mat.
He definitely wants to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, he's in good shape right here. This is a good position for him.
Brant wants to come off. He needs to come off the mat with his knees.
There he goes. Okay, now he's got a single leg lace in over here. We used to call it the grapevine. Looking for a power half, but you can't drop your hips when you're the top man or you get yourself into trouble. And I think you're going to see it right now. You're going to see
East Brunswick's
going to pop through.
Trying to get that left arm through.
There it is. Now he's got to go for the...
Now Brant could certainly benefit by 2 more points. He's at 6, and like we've alluded to earlier, if he can get that gap to 8 or more, he can pick up that extra team point.
Boy, those team points come in handy. Now, he's doing a great job. If he was more experienced, you probably would have seen him slow down a little bit as he came out and looked at the turn also to pick up a couple extra points.
Only a freshman.
Yeah, he's doing well. He's got a nice position.
Nope, I stand to be corrected. 9 years wrestling, he's a sophomore.
So he's a rec wrestler too.
Okay.
There's another. There we go. He's wrestling really well on top. He keeps maintaining good position.
Doing great.
You got to keep curling those wrists under. You can't give him a chance to get any kind of hand control. And you got to keep the pressure on. We got 22 seconds left going here.
Making a great debut, filling in for Matt Ackerman.
Yes, he is. And I'm sure he works out with Matt in practice, so I'm sure that makes him a lot better.
Well, it looks like it's paying off. 7 seconds to go.
Now he's looking at standing Turk here.
Looks like he's going to pick up his first win in his first try.
That was nice.
Brant Shine putting East Brunswick on the scoreboard.
And you saw 2 different styles of wrestling here. One guy is a leg wrestler, and one guy rode, conventional style. Now,
brings our team score to 16-3.
Here we go, 119.
We got Gabriel Roman taking the mat.
All right. Let's talk
10-0 on the year.
Now, here's really an impressive record. He's 10-0 this season. He's a 10th grader. He's right here. It says he's only been wrestling 4 years.
Wow. Enjoyed some good success in that time.
His total career record is 31-10.
Well, 6 seconds into the match, he picks up a takedown.
But you do have kids like that you run into every once in a while where they just come out of nowhere, and within a couple of years they've just found their niche, that they really they take the wrestling very well.
Well, some guys are a natural.
Yeah. They got good balance. They got, they understand hip position. You're looking at them now.
He's trying some good technique out there. I like what I see.
Look at this. This is tough.
Taking Parabella right to his back. Nick needs to fight, get to his belly.
Yeah. Nick's got to peel that if he can. Well, right now he can't, but if he can get over a little more and just try and peel that half off. That's a punishing half there.
Well, Nick's fighting. Nick wants to try to get himself out of bounds.
If he can just see where the line is and fight that way, just for there he goes now. Fresh start, Nick.
Nick doing a nice job getting himself out.
There's 3 backs there for Gabriel.
Looking at Nick Parabella's information sheet, all the wrestlers supplied us a sheet to help us out through the contest. And one of the questions is, who's your favorite teacher? And I'm sure you'll be happy to see Nick's favorite teacher listed here, Yannazzo.
Oh. Must be trying to get an A.
Whatever works, Coach.
Yeah, hey. Roman feeling really comfortable on his feet, you can tell. He chose for the alternate start.
Nick had a big pin for East Brunswick against South Brunswick earlier on in the season.
Yeah, I saw that. That was really nice.
That helped East Brunswick beat South Brunswick. And the Cross Brunswick rivalry is Roman picks up another takedown, brings our score to 7-1 here in the first period at 119.
I'm watching Roman wrestle, and he looks like he's kind of freestyle oriented, just by the way he moves and the types of underhooks that he uses.
Very slick.
Oh, yeah.
And that 119 in the GMC is just a loaded weight class for those fans out there that follow wrestling. You have Jim Conroy, state champ for South Plainfield at 119. Steve Fallon, second in the state for Old Bridge at 119. And right here, Gabriel Roman should make for a great county tournament forthcoming in a couple weeks at South Brunswick High School, February 3rd and 4th.
Well, he's got a real tight arm bar in there, stepped over. Did you see in the paper where Conroy lost up at 100 and Central?
He lost. I think it's his 3rd loss in his last 87 bouts. Can't take anything away from Conroy in the 1 loss. So the one thing I do notice here, Gabriel is chewing gum, which is technically illegal in wrestling.
Yes, it is.
And referee probably just hasn't picked it up. But for the safety of the wrestlers, it's not a good idea to be chewing gum while you wrestle.
All you need to do is swallow that the wrong way. And everybody's going to be panicking.
This Gabriel is slick. He picks up another takedown.
He just turns the right way every time.
Increases lead to 12-1. So anything Nick can do other than give up a pin is going to help the Bears in the overall team score. So Nick, is helping the team by staying tough out there.
Yeah, he is. I believe he just started wrestling as a freshman. And you could see the strength on him, and he does have good balance, and he understands positioning. I think it's, he'll never forget this match for a while.
No, this is one of the toughest weight classes in the entire conference right here. 119, you always get that stacked weight class, and everywhere you go this year and around town, everywhere that bus brings you, they seem to have a good 119.
Yeah, 119 is a loaded weight class, and Nick will learn. Right now he's going to be sore when he goes home tonight, but he'll learn a lot from this.
Well, he's 4-4 in the season, so he's getting his share of wins in too. As Gabriel picks up the pin,
double arm bar
at 4:51. Increases the Perth Amboy lead to 22-3. East Brunswick needs to get tough here. Get back in this dual meet. Outside of Sergio Garcia, Matt Ackerman, East Brunswick's more balanced than displaying that big gun wrestler.
You're right.
This is Kenny Charleston for East Brunswick, Coach?
I believe so, yes. Let me just look and see who we have here at 25. This is Stuart Minanya. Stuart Minanya.
And again, all the right answers. Kenny Charleston's favorite teacher, Yannazzo. Chris doing pretty good tonight, Coach.
Yeah. He must be too easy of a grader. Oh, there's a nice shot, but really countered well. Now he's got his own single going on there.
So possibly Williams is going to move up to 30. East Brunswick, maneuvering their lineup a little bit.
Yeah, like we said before, we don't know how they're going to jockey their lineups.
Both teams looking to capitalize wherever they can. We're at 22-3 in our team score here at 125, and we're at 0-0.
Don't lean back.
Mania with a nice trip pancake takedown
nice pancake.
Into a head and arm for a fall. Everything going Perth Amboy's way right now.
Unfortunately, when you get a couple quick pins like this, it really juices up your team, and East Brunswick's got to figure out a way to stop this momentum.
Well, let's see if East Brunswick can stop the bleeding now. With looks like
we got
Chris Williams or
this is at
Kevin
30.
Bus
I've got Brian Perez or Joey Morales. I don't know which is.
Looks like Kevin Busen taking the mat for East Brunswick.
This is Joey Morales.
We're at 28-3 here at 1:30. We started the match at 2:15 with Ross Santana for Perth Amboy getting the Panthers on the board first with a 22-8 win for major decision, followed by a fall at heavyweight for Perth Amboy. And then at 1:03 we went to the top of the lineup. Perth Amboy picked up another fall at 1:03 to bring our team score to 16-3. Brant Shine put the Bears on the board with a 6-0 victory at 112. At 119, a tough Gabriel Roman picked up another fall and another fall at 130 to bring an overall score right now 28-3. And we're at the first period at 1:30.
All right, Joey Morales, I've got him here. His season record right now is 3-3. He's been wrestling for 4 years. His career record, 8-21. Let's see. Well, it's funny. Every Perth Amboy wrestler puts down most memorable match, Old Bridge. So that,
It tells you how pumped up they were.
Exactly. Coming off something like that, it gives you a lot of confidence.
Well, that really put the program on the map.
Yes, it did. Morales right now, he's got that crazy leg in, and he's probably trying to work maybe some kind of Merkel or.
Perth Amboy in control. 2-0. 17 seconds to go in the first period.
They got a fresh start now.
Perth Amboy really has looked good. We can't take anything away from the Bears, but Perth Amboy really has come to wrestle tonight. Taking it to the Bears early on. A young East Brunswick team just being overpowered.
All right, we have 2-0 Perth Amboy at this point, second period. Okay, Perth Amboy's taken down, looking to score a couple of reversals here. A couple points for reversals. Kevin's going to want to try and just break him down, get him to his stomach where he can work some kind of turn. He's got to get back in this match. 2 points, it's not much to get back in. That's nice. All right, he's controlling that forearm.
Kevin, a senior, 6-5 on the season.
Now picking an ankle. He's mixing it up quite a bit here. He chops, he picks an ankle. But now he's got to defend against a switch coming. Morales is working his way around here. He's in good position too. He's got that leg in. A little bit high right now. Now he's throwing in legs. We talked about how Coach turned this program around, but from what I understand, he puts a lot of time in, even in the summer. He's down there 3 times a week. I think he vacations down the shore somewhere or has a house down the shore, but 3 times a week he drives up to make sure his kids are wrestling and practicing.
Keep working, guys. Both wrestlers, keep working in there. Let's go.
Your official telling the wrestlers to stay aggressive out there.
I mean, that bottom man, I don't know if anybody's ever been in this position before, but boy, it feels like your stomach's being torn in half.
Well, he's tied up pretty good under there.
Yeah, the way you're being stretched, and now with that power shoulder coming in there, that power half, oh, that is just brutal. Coach Giordano trying to correct a few technical mistakes here so that he can get, so his wrestler can get a turn. Busen scores 1 right here, which is good. So now we got a 4-1 match, and a takedown is really going to help East Brunswick at this point, but he's got to block off that dump.
Almost a nice job.
Yeah, here it comes now. All right. See, now he's got the Perth Amboy guy sitting back on his hips. Wow, great balance to get out of that. I swore he was going to his back.
We didn't know how that was going to end up.
Yeah,
a couple almost woulda, couldas in there.
I could have thought there was going to be takedown and back points, but Morales has great balance.
Well, game of leverage. Like you alluded to earlier, it's a big hip sport.
Yeah. Control the hips, you're going to control the match.
That concludes the second period. Kevin's going to choose bottom. Needs 3 points. Probably the best position for him to be in, being down by 3.
There he goes. He's got to get hand control. He's got to at least get, he's got to get out for 1, and then he can come back in for 2.
Yeah, like you said, Busen needs to work hand control, needs to pop up and explode.
But I'll tell you, Morales is really, he's pretty slick with his legs on top. He's got him stretched out. He's gonna, I think the referee's gonna stop this over here. That shoulder's getting really.
Almost a full Nelson there. Morales coming real close to a full Nelson with that power half.
Kevin's got to keep his elbows in while he's working so that he can prevent that half from coming in like that. Well, Morales is now putting in a hammer, and he's going to probably try and scoop the head and pull him over. Kevin does not want to post with that outside arm. Okay, he's out of trouble.
Hustle back, Green, you're still down. Let's go.
Well, Kevin's got some tough shoes to fill at 130. Last year we had Corey Richings on the mat at 130 for East Brunswick.
What a phenomenal wrestler he was. Plus, he broke Pazinko's all-time wins record.
104 wins, first wrestler in East Brunswick history to ever go over 100.
Yeah, and you know, when you watch him wrestle, he never really changed his speed, never really changed his emotion. It was just a constant barrage of continuous wrestling all the time.
Kevin picks up one on escape.
That's nice. Oh, if he could get a throw right here, that would be huge.
Needs a takedown here to tie it up. We're at 4-2. Perth Amboy with 30 seconds to go in the third period. Busen on the hunt for a takedown. Needs to pull something out of his bag of tricks here and come up with a takedown to score this, to tie this up. East Brunswick needs to stop the bleeding here, down 28-3 in team score.
You know, these matches can get away from it very easily, and
Busen forcing the action, trying to work a trip.
Sometimes you look in the paper and it looks like one team just killed the other team, but it could be one team beating the other team by 1 point each bout. You know,
it's an interesting thing about wrestling. It's more winner take all. We got 5 seconds to go. Busen's going to run out of time.
So
Perth Amboy's going to put the team score at 31-3.
Another 3 for Perth Amboy, and like I said, they're just nipping away. This is Todd Marriott, and let's see, at 135, this must be Brian Perez. Let's see.
Perez a little more short and stocky. Get to see a whole nother body type out here, taking on Todd. Experienced wrestler for East Brunswick, a junior. Todd loses his headgear. Put that back on. We'll get a fresh start.
All right, the information I got on Brian Perez, 10th grader, 3 years of wrestling experience. His record for the season right now is 0-4, and his overall career record is 1-5. Favorite sport other than wrestling is football. So let's see if Todd can get us back.
Yeah, he looks like a football player.
Yeah, he's stocky.
You're not nice and tight, son. Let's keep it on, all right? Otherwise, I'll make you get another headgear.
All right, I'll start with a takedown, Stu. While there's a lull in the action, takedown is worth 2 points, and that's from a standing position. You have to be able to get your opponent down to the mat and have complete control, usually either hip to hip with him or behind him. All right, somehow that shows that you have complete control over your opponent. On an escape, that's when you're on the bottom, and what you do is you either have to break free so that your opponent has lost control over you, or break free and face your opponent for 1 point. Stu, you want to do the reversals?
Okay, reversal is when you start from on bottom and you end up in control, whether on the feet or on the mat, and that's good for 2 points. If you can hold your opponent on his back for 2 seconds, you pick up 2 near fall points, and if you can hold your opponent on his back for 5 seconds or more, you pick up 3 near fall points. And all these points lead to the bout score, and then the bout score determines the number of team points awarded for that contest. Well, looks like we're going to go scoreless here in the first period with just 15 seconds to go. We're at 0-0 here at 1:35. Todd Marriott on the mat for East Brunswick as we go out of bounds with 5 seconds to go. East Brunswick's choice. Todd's going to take bottom, which is a smart move, because if it goes into overtime, whoever scored first will have choice of position in the tiebreaker period. So smart move by Marriott to take bottom. It's not a time where you want to defer when it's 0-0 going into the second period. When I ref, I always get irked and can't quite understand that when it's tied 0-0 after the first. It's a frequent score, and the wrestler has choice, and he defers. You want to score there. That's not the time you want to defer. That's where you want to score. So
plus, in that second period, you're still pretty fresh, so you want to exert all your energy while you still have some. Perth Amboy is running a wicked armbar right here. He's got to be careful that arm does not slip up into a chicken wing, but right now it looks pretty good. And when you can get your hip under that arm and run it, boy, your guy's going to go. So I'd have to say Todd's pretty strong right there, because he fought that off. Coach Bazinko is yelling at Todd to start cranking it up now, because he knows that, he honestly believes that this is our match right here. This is a match we should win.
Well, Perth Amboy needs to bring him back down to the mat, or he'll be warned for stalling.
Okay.
And he does. Marriott looking for that escape.
Right, Marriott has to really press off the head and work that head and then straighten his own leg.
Marriott has a whizzer in.
And one of the things you always tell your kids, if you can find your opponent's head, work it.
Yeah.
Work it and let them know you're there. You'll find out if he really wants to wrestle after you start pounding on his head and pushing it in the mat a little bit. Now, Todd's back up to his feet looking for one, but he gets pushed out, so there's nothing there.
Just ran out of real estate.
He's got to keep coming up to his feet. He wants one, and then he wants to go back in for 2. He's got 30 seconds to score here.
Todd needs to score here. Perth Amboy's going to have choice in the third period. So Todd's got 22 seconds to get busy here. Needs to establish hand control.
No, he's got to get that.
Needs to peel that off.
He's got to clamp down on that half and not give him any leverage there and get back up to his feet.
East Brunswick crowd very quiet. All the noise we hear right now is coming out of the Perth Amboy side of the bleachers as we get a full Nelson. Marriott's going to pick up 1 point there.
Full Nelson, okay. 1 penalty point. Perez has
that's a key point in a 0-0 bout with 4 seconds to go in the second period.
Perez has a very deceiving record here. He's 0-4. But and I know Todd is tough, and he's wrestling Todd tough, and I think you're going to see legs being thrown in here.
Well, Perez came to wrestle. Todd's got his work cut out for him. Can't afford to give up 2. He gets in trouble. He should give up 1, not 2.
Right. That's smart wrestling. You give up the minimum amount of points. Now he's trying the old-fashioned Navy ride to see if he can lift and turn.
Todd needs to make himself heavy, keep his weight down.
And on his toes. He's got to stay on his toes.
Well, if Perez is 0-4, he's lost to 4 tough kids because he's certainly wrestling a lot better than an 0-4 wrestler.
Yes, he is. I'm impressed. Now Todd's looking to lift that leg in a Turk. He's going to try and turn Perez somehow.
No, Todd's no slouch. He's been around the mats. He's one of the East Brunswick's more experienced wrestlers.
Oh yeah, I think he's really tough. I've seen him wrestle quite a bit. He's a tough kid. And you know what? He's going to wrestle right to the whistle. So if he's looking for a turn, he's going to be looking for a turn the whole 2 minutes. He picked up an ankle. That's good. He can't hang on there.
He's there. That's a penalty of his own. That's locked hands. You cannot lock hands around the legs like that. He's warned for stalling, but technically that's locked hands. That should have been a 1 point. So Todd catches a break there.
All right, now Todd's looking for an alternate start here where he's going to let him go. He's going to let him up. So now we have a 1-1 match, and he's going to look for the takedown. Hopefully take him down and then hold him down. He's got to be careful here. He's got to face him. Position's very important. Oh, he's got to face him here.
Big takedown.
That is big.
Perth Amboy side of the bleachers ignites. So Perez up 3-1.
And
40 seconds to go.
He's got to work here. All right, he's off the mat. That's good because now he can get a fresh start. He can work on his good stuff from the bottom.
You're still down.
Still expecting to see legs being thrown in here.
Got a Brian Perez chant going here on the Perth Amboy side of the bleachers. Marriott
here he comes now, but he's got to get
at least
2.
1, but he really needs 2.
All right. Boy, this is going to be one of these close ones here where everybody's screaming.
Oh, Marriott needs to be the aggressor.
Oh, yeah.
Perez does not need to be. Marriott needs the takedown, so it's Marriott that's got to get offensive here.
You don't want him chasing, but you want him setting up good stuff and shooting.
Well, look for Perez just to block and try to avoid giving anything up. He doesn't have a stall warrant. He can afford to give up a warning.
Yeah, that's a nice high crotch, but again, like you said, that out of bounds circle can be your friend or your enemy.
Well, it's Marriott that needs to be the aggressor here. Doesn't have much time to work with.
Anything Marriott shoots has to be in the center of the mat. Now you can see Perth Amboy's playing the edge. Yep. Smart wrestling.
It's warned for stalling at the end, but a little too late. And it's Perez with his first win of the season at a crucial time. Gives the Perth Amboy team a 34-3 lead. The 3-2 victory by Perez at 135. It's Buddy Volta taking the mat now for the Bears.
And we have Anthony Bedina for Perth Amboy, 5 years of wrestling experience. He's got a 10-1 record, 31-18 overall, so he's been around. Buddy, I've seen a few times, and very strong.
Buddy's strong out of the gate right there.
Yeah.
Just ran out of real estate, lost the takedown, just ran out of space. 5-2 on the season.
Likes upper bodies, too. He likes to go upper body, likes to throw. thing is, he's got a good opponent here. You can't make any mistakes against a guy that's 10-1.
No, he's down 4-0 real quick, 30 seconds into the first period. Now Medina's the real deal for Amboy, but he's got his work cut out for him. He's got strength on his side, but he's facing a tough wrestler here tonight. Picks up one on the escape.
See, this is what you don't want to get into with an experienced guy. Going up and trying to throw him and muscle him, and because...
Well, technique beats muscle.
You know, a good technical wrestler is just he's gonna pop his head, he's gonna lower his hips. He'd like you to come at you and try and throw a headlock. Now this one-on-one and half, this can get dangerous sometimes, because when that one-on-one comes up near the neck, then it becomes a full Nelson, like you said. So even though it's a great ride and a great way to pin, you can get yourself into trouble sometimes. Here comes a cradle. There he goes, one-on-one and half again.
There's another full Nelson.
He's just mixing it up. You know, he's keeping the pressure on Buddy. He's moving from one thing to another.
Been real impressed with this Perth Amboy team. Just very aggressive.
Aggressive, and they're working good stuff. You know, they're just not they're just not a bunch of strong kids throwing people around. They're wrestling well.
You could see the power of Volta. Just just getting caught.
Yeah.
But you could see how strong he is.
Oh, he placed in the East Brunswick tournament.
We're at 9-1 into the second period.
What do you want? Red takes neutral.
Medina takes neutral. So that's assessed there. On his feet so far this bout, so he's going to stay up there.
Yeah, Volta got a 5th place in the East Brunswick tournament. That Neptune tournament they went in the beginning of the year must have been really tough. I think the only place
strong this year.
Yeah, I think the only place winner was Sergio.
Well, Bears can use a bunch of Sergios right now.
Oh, you're not kidding.
They give up 2 more and some backs.
Buddy's got to try and get those shoulders out of bounds.
Well, Buddy's got to know where he is. Try to get on that line. The line is considered out of bounds, unlike college where the line is inbounds. In high school, the line is out of bounds. So if Buddy can get over on onto that line, to have a little reprieve.
Yeah, make that line your friend, at least right now.
You can actually go flat as long as you're on that line, but you got to get to it. Easier said than done when you're on your back and you got Anthony Medina on top.
Yeah, 10-1 wrestler, senior.
Just look for a high seed in the upcoming county tournament with Medina. And it's a fall.
Yeah, he's tough.
It's all Perth Amboy here. Outside of a Brent Shine 6-0 victory at 112, it's been all Perth Amboy.
I didn't know how this match was going to go because, you know, I don't really know how good Old Bridge was, what a good indicator it might have been, but I'll tell you, Perth Amboy is the real deal.
They seem like the real deal. I mean, we've got
Johnny Rodriguez here at 145.
It's Fabian Pleasant for East Brunswick.
Fabian's good. And let's see, Johnny, he's a 4th-year wrestler, record 7-5. He's a 10th grader. So I think Fabian might be a junior.
Well, Fabian worked hard over the season. He's a senior.
Oh, he's a senior, okay.
He's 6-2. Fabian and I actually share something in common here. He lists his favorite teacher as Mr. Kenny. It hasn't been that long since I've been in high school, and I think that was my favorite teacher too, Coach.
All right.
So kudos for Mr. Kenny.
Oh, there's a nice low single, but he's got to finish it.
And what is impressive here on Fabian's information sheet, how about that GPA, Coach? 3.8.
Oh, that's nice.
Nice to see.
It's always good to see wrestlers with high GPAs.
It's also nice to see Fabian's been accepted to U.S. Naval Academy.
Well, there's a quality guy right there.
Fabian likes to stay in shape, and Naval Academy will certainly keep him in that regard.
I think the last one we had might have been Josh Jabin.
That's right, yeah. That'll make a man out of you.
Absolutely. You know, and Josh, I talk to him now and then, and He wrestled for the Naval Academy. I think he was like the 4th man in his weight class. And they said he was the best walk-on they ever had.
Fabian also a bass player in his free time. Most of the guys in their information sheets have listed a win as their most memorable wrestling moment. Fabian, contrary to his teammates, has listed a loss as his most memorable moment. Really thought he had his opponent beat, maybe on a questionable call. He lost to Edison last year, and Fabian lists that as his most memorable moment in wrestling. Fabian down 2-0.
2-0. They're using that crotch ride and then slipping a bar through. And I'll tell you what, you don't really want to get caught in that because you have no way of getting that hand free.
Well, as important it is for the wrestlers to stay up on their techniques and their moves, it's important for the coaches. I know Mike Giordano attends coaches clinics and stays up with the new techniques, and that's an important part of the sport.
Yeah. The
Down. Red takes defense.
college in New Jersey always used to run a really nice coaches clinic.
Yeah, they still do.
And I mean, the quality of technicians they got there and clinicians, it was great.
Fabian on top, second period here at 1:45.
Fabian riding with that cross wrist, which is, you know, that's an old bread and butter move. Boy, it works well. And as long as he stays off his knees and keeps the weight on his opponent, that's going to work for him.
Well, Fabian in control. It's going to be followed by Gary Morosi and Sergio Garcia. So we get into a little bit of a heart of the East Brunswick lineup. Let's see if these next couple of guys can get the Bears back on the board.
Right now it's 2-0 Perth Amboy. Of course, the team score is 40-3. I never really expected this to.
No, and in all feasibility, you know, Perth Amboy stays on top here. In all feasibility, they could be the best team in that red division this year. We already, you know, we already know they beat Old Bridge. Waiting in the wings for them is Edison, who has a strong lower weight contingency.
They have a 6-0 record right now, but I'll tell you, they do not wrestle the quality of schedule that, say, a Perth Amboy and East Brunswick wrestles. If you look at some of the teams they go against, they'll go into, you know, like Staten Island and things like that.
That's a good observation, Coach. Glad to see you're still paying attention.
Oh, I'm paying attention. I'm always paying attention.
And it's Fabian trying to work a tilt. If he can expose the shoulders, break that 90, he'll pick up some near fall. He'll pick up some waves of the arm from the official. Looks like he's there now. That's a nice job by Fabian in that tilt, picking up key back points.
But then, in fairness to Edison, I do know that Jerry likes to schedule in the beginning some weak matches to give his younger guys some confidence.
Well, he hasn't been getting the numbers the last few years. We're used to seeing Edison with 50, 60 kids on the team. You know, he's been working with around 20 the last couple of years.
Oh, he's been working with low numbers. Piscataway, horrible numbers.
Yeah.
Every few years, all the teams go through like a drought.
Peaks and valleys, and valleys. You got to go through them valleys to get to those peaks.
All right, you just got to look at, you know, you got to hope that you got a lot of younger kids coming up that are going to save you.
We're all tied as the second period winds down. 2-2. Fabian has choice. He's going to take bottom. See if Fabian can get us on the board here.
All right, we got a two, as Stu said, a 2-2 match. Fabian's got to try and get that hand free. He's really got to get up to his feet here. Perth Amboy riding very tight.
East Brunswick coached by Glenn Pazinko, assisted by Joe Shitari, Matt Pazinko, and Chris Yannazzo. Our managers who do a great job for the Bears. As we go out of bounds, we'll get a fresh start. Lauren Clay, Gina Guido, Maggie Wentz, I hope I pronounced that right. Amy Bream, Jackie McDonald, Lucy Leonard, and Coach, I'm going to let you take that last one.
Which one?
I don't want to get that wrong. You're the teacher.
It looks to me like it could be Ruthkowitz.
We know it's Amanda.
Yeah, that we know. And then again, special thanks to our two varsity managers from Perth Amboy who helped us with the lineup and the pronunciation of all the names, and that would be Mary and Julie. Thank you very much.
That has been helpful to us. We're going to get an injury time at Perth Amboy. It can also give us an opportunity to thank our athletic care specialist, Phil Hostler, our student trainers, Victoria McLean, our athletic director, Frank Nottenberger, Principal Robert Murphy. Bears 2-1 on the season. Perth Amboy 6-2. 8 matches in already for Perth Amboy. So they've really been out on the campaign so far. Get a look at Coach Mike Giordano. Been a legend in Perth Amboy over the last 15 years, turning that program around. We're going to get a fresh start here after the injury time with 1:12 to go. Fabian on bottom, all locked at 2.
Now, when there's injury time, Stu, I think it's important that the fans should know that whoever the injured wrestler is, you'll always see the official walk over to that side. And
well, technically, wasn't going to say nothing, but the new rule in wrestling now, during injury time, the official is actually supposed to report to the head table. They changed that this year.
Oh, really?
They want the referee away from the situation now. That just became into effect this year.
So if a coach wants to coach his kid, even though
he
he's
can do
injured,
it now.
he can?
Yeah,
Okay.
now he can do it. That's all new. We're at 3-2. Fabian escaped.
Oh, that's a nice low single. If you can finish, keep your toes on the mat, there's 2.
2-point takedown. Fabian managing to keep his toes in.
Very smart, Fabian.
Builds it up to 5-2. Good whereabouts, good sense in the mat by Fabian. Knew where he was, knew what he had to do, and just ever so creep them toes in for the score.
That's very similar to the wide receiver keeping his toes in bounds when he catches the touchdown pass. You know, Fabian was smart. He knows where he is all the time. Now you're going to see him put the pressure on right here.
Steve Smith imitation there.
Yeah. You can see him. He's putting a lot of pressure. I'm sure Glenn would like to see him get off his knees so he can get more pressure on top of his opponent. His opponent is reaching back, which is that's the cardinal sin in wrestling.
Well, Fabian.
And look at this.
Look what he's pulling out of his hat with 6 seconds to go. Taking his Perth Amboy opponent to his back, trying to pick up more.
Just ran out of time, but that was good. Fabian stayed intense the whole match.
Fabian picking up an 8-2 win for the Bears. The Bears' second winner of the night, joining Brant Shine in the winner's circle for the Bears.
You know, that was a nice job by Fabian because, as I was saying, the Perth Amboy made the cardinal sin of reaching back. And you never do that, and Fabian was smart enough to recognize it and take advantage of it and use it to turn him.
Gary Morosi taking the mat for the Bears. He has some varsity experience from last year. He's 4-3 on the season. He's a senior. It's 10 years wrestling experience. And look at that, another outstanding student, 3.83 GPA. Very impressive. When asked why he wrestles, he says, can't play basketball. I kind of like that answer. Also a football player and also enjoys golf.
145, I have Johnny Rodriguez here. They switched the schedule
Looks
around.
like he's joining Fabian at the Naval Academy. How often do you see that? Back-to-back weight classes, back-to-back teammates, both going to the Naval Academy. One of my favorite towns, Annapolis. The legendary Middleton's Pub, one of my favorite places to visit when I'm in Annapolis. I have to tell Fabian and Gary about oyster shooters before they go down there.
If this is Johnny Rodriguez, which according to their lineup it is, he's a 10th grader. He's got a 7-5 record, and he's been wrestling for 4 years. Another sport that he plays is football. So we'll see what happens here.
So Gary with good control, just taking him right off the mat.
Standing Turk.
Beautiful takedown. He gets on the board first.
Throws in legs right away.
He's going to be up 2-0 as we get a restart with 1 minute to go in the first period. February 3 and 4, mark your calendars. GMC County Tournament, South Brunswick High School. And as we alluded to earlier, 119 promises to have some tough competition with Steve Fallon, Gabriel Roman, who we saw earlier, possibly Jim Conroy or Billy Ashnault from South Plainfield. Nowhere to hide at 119. Grandma Richie's picking up the 50-50, I see, Coach.
Oh, my mistake here. This is Tom Skibo. They changed this up, and according to this, he's a 9th grader. And no, 9 years of wrestling. He's an 11th grader.
Yeah, we got to change this form. It's a little confusing.
It's a little confusing here.
You see that 9, 10, 11. You go right to grade. Nice job by
9 years of
Morosi.
wrestling, huh?
A lot of East Brunswick recreation wrestlers are here tonight in the stands, which is good to see. The East Brunswick rec program, which feeds the high school, enjoying some good numbers this year. 62 kids out for the team. Program is run by Dale Pennington, head coach Mike Duhigg, and they're really doing a nice job with the lower levels. And hopefully Glenn will have some good numbers to work with in the next couple years to come. And Mike Duhigg doing a great job down below, just keeping the kids interested, keeping them out for wrestling.
Hey, he's a great guy. Mike's. I met Mike when he was in 7th grade. He wrestled for me, and he himself is a phenomenal wrestler. I mean, his accomplishments were tremendous. He was 2nd in the state in high school. He was a 2-time All-American at Middlesex County College. He went to Old Dominion after that. I think he was ranked 3rd on the East Coast.
Well, you see him. He looks like he still got it in him.
I tell you what,
shape.
I'd be afraid of him. He's also a gold medal. He was a gold medal winner in the Pan Am Games. You're not going to find any better technician in the area than Mike Duhigg.
And very dedicated.
Yeah, and he's good with the kids. I was watching him. He wants them to have fun. He understands what the burnout technique is all about, and he doesn't want to put any pressure on them. He's got his sons wrestling.
His son Mike Jr.
Mike Jr. And then, of course, he's got 2 other brothers, Jerry and Joey, who live in Howell. And his brother Jerry has, I think, a couple of boys who are wrestling out there. That's some wrestling family, I'll tell you.
You did your homework, Coach. I'm impressed. Came with the info tonight.
I know the family
well. You know the Duhigg family.
Very well.
All right. And a lot of credit, to Dale Pennington down there, too, who directs the program and really has done everything to keep that program strong. And special thanks to Frank Knottenberger for letting the team use the facilities at Churchill and been very cooperative in getting the team what they need.
Oh, yeah, Frank's great with the wrestling program. He's always, one thing I have to say, when you look at athletic directors, Frank really raises the bar as far as what he does for everybody's program. And he wants to see success at every level of every sport. And he'll do anything he can to make sure every coach gets what he needs. Another leg wrestler again.
Morosi wrapped up in legs.
Boy, you don't want to be there.
Well, the referee doesn't want Morosi to ride that 2-0 lead. He wants him to stay aggressive. We don't often see, the stall call, the violation we just saw when the wrestler's in legs, but he felt Morosi wasn't working up. So he was warned for stalling. Morosi on top now. Needs to keep Perth Amboy down.
All right, Morosi's working good now. He's coming out. He's going to pop that hammer. When you want to work that technique, you want that your bottom wrestler to be flat on his belly.
We've had 2 winners for the Bears tonight. Brandon Shine making his debut at 112 was all Brandon. All Brandt at 112 with a 6-0 victory and an aggressive, gutsy performance, filling in for Matt Ackerman. And our other winner was Fabian Pleasant with a commanding 8-2 win. That's where the 6 points for the Bears came from tonight. And Gary Morosi on top right now at 1 minute to go at the third period. See if we can pick up another winner. Morosi can't afford to give up 2. If he gets in trouble, he's going to give up 1, not the 2. Morosi doing a good job of staying in control.
That's nice. You know, you can see now who really is trying to use that white line and who's trying to stay in bounds.
Well, he doesn't have a 3-8 for nothing, Coach. The Naval Academy just doesn't take anybody. I don't know what the ratio is of applicants to what they actually accept, but you really got to be in the top small percentage of your high school class to get into the academy.
Morosi's really putting a lot of pressure here. He's, you know,
doing a good job.
He is not sitting back at all. He wants to score points. He wants to try and get a turn.
One of the more difficult positions in wrestling is to ride. You really requires the technique to be able to contain your opponent on the mat.
Oh,
Morosi doing a nice job riding the whole third period. He's gonna take a 2-0 win. And it's funny in wrestling that 2-0 win gets you 3 team points.
Exactly.
Like you said earlier, winner take all. It's not what you win by, it's if you win. What's nice, we've seen the Perth Amboy wrestlers tonight come over and shake Coach Bazinko's hand, win or lose after their bouts.
That's a good show of sportsmanship.
Yep.
And sure.
We're at 160. We have 3 bouts to go, including our bout now with Sergio Garcia, the Bears leader, on the mat, and making a quick 4-second takedown. Sergio wasting no time of taking control.
Over here we have Josh Gonzalez from Perth Amboy. He's got a 7-2 record. He's a senior. And, you know, you look at the Perth Amboy wrestler, he is packed. I mean, there's a muscular kid right there. But you watch Sergio. Sergio has an unbelievable balance and strength.
Very slick.
And he's very deceiving.
He's a junior. He's 9-2 on the season. I believe he won the East Brunswick tournament. Lists his favorite teacher as Coach Borden. Wonder if it has something in Spanish. 32 career wins with only 8 losses. He's 3rd in the GMC last year. The stud of the lineup for the Bears.
Sergio is very good, even on his feet. Like he's very comfortable. You know, when a guy goes to throw him, he'll always just sit back. He'll slip his head back out.
Well, he just traded 1 for 2, increases his lead to 4-1 as we go out of bounds.
Very smooth.
Looks a lot bigger than last year. I haven't seen him. This is the first time I've actually seen him this year, other than what I've seen in the paper, and got a little bigger since last year.
Yeah, well, from what I understand, he's a 3-sport athlete. He plays football and he plays baseball. And we know he wrestles. And wrestles well.
Doing his job
there he goes. There's a nice Turk coming in there. He's always looking for a turn. That's great. You know, Sergio's trying to help out the team right here. He's trying to pack up some points.
Put a little respect back on the board.
Yeah.
Sergio, I'm sure we'll get a nice seed in the upcoming county tournament. Again, February 3rd and 4th, mark your calendar. New location this year, South Brunswick High School, normally at Piscataway. It's going through some renovations, so the tournament's going to shift over to South Brunswick for at least 2 seasons, I understand.
Now, Sergio's going to go upper body again with him. He's going to get his hips back, though. He's got to really slide back. Oh, that was a close goal.
Not to the liking of the Perth Amboy coach.
He gave him 1 for loss of control. Perth Amboy did get 1, but I know Giordano was looking for 2.
Sometimes it's nice to commentate, not officiate, you know, Coach?
Oh, I know. Well, Coach is now coming to the table, Coach Giordano.
They're going to talk
there
about
was a
the
neutral
call.
back over here, okay? They were neutral. It should be 4-2.
not the easiest thing to do in the world. Trust me out there. It's nowhere to hide. Round mat, no corners, no.
You're there by yourself.
Yeah.
That's true. Look at
Basketball, you can share the blame with another guy, you know?
Now, if Sergio can ride under both of those elbows, he'll be okay. Josh Gonzalez, he's doing a good job of constantly moving. He's looking for a short sit. He's getting hand control. I mean, you're watching two good technicians right now. They're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing.
If anybody would like to see some good wrestling, Saturday, January 14th at East Stroudsburg Fieldhouse, they're going to have a powerful quad, 4 teams, Bergen Catholic, St. Edwards of Ohio, Blair, and Ocean.
Wow.
4 of the top teams, 3 of the top teams in New Jersey, and 1 of the other top teams in the country are going to have a quad match. They'll all wrestle each other. And I'm going to make the trip and officiate. I'm kind of looking forward to it. And
it must be always fun to watch Blair wrestle.
if you want to see some good wrestling, make the trip out to East Stroudsburg Saturday, January 14th, and see number 1 and number 2 on the mat. Number 1 and 2, not I'm not talking locally, I'm talking in the country. And you really see some good wrestling, good experience for any high school wrestler to see that level. Sergio in control, 6'2".
I'll tell you what, this is a bit of a street fight. Neither one of these guys are they're not going to give up for the other one.
Gonzalez, no slouch. He's not going to he's not going to go away without fighting. And Sergio just staying in control.
You're down.
Some slick stuff from Garcia out here.
Red, you're down. Face me.
Just like you said, even when he's in trouble,
Yeah,
stays calm and ends up on top.
he just recognizes every position he's in and figures out a way to capitalize all the time. You just watch him move.
It comes with 11 years experience.
Yeah, I remember him as a little guy watching him in rec.
You know, and he was 3rd in the county last year, and
That's a nice
that was as a
achievement.
sophomore, and you know it's in the upper weights. You know, a lot of times you see guys win the counties, 1st in the county, 3rd in the county. At 103, 112, big difference when you do it in the upper weights. You're wrestling against all seniors up there.
All right, Sergio's using a power half right now. He's got a double leg lace in.
Just doesn't break up the 90 degrees, doesn't pick up any backs.
That's some good stuff, though.
Red's choice indicated by the official.
Your choice, Red.
Fred Peony doing a nice
Your choice,
job
Red.
as
Tell
our
me what you
official
want.
here tonight.
Red takes offense.
Indicating Perth Amboy takes offense. Our official, 20 years experience himself on the mat at 100 in county.
Nice sit with Sergio. Goes right up for the head. Head hunts, looking at maybe turning some more points.
Quick reversal.
I'm looking Josh Gonzalez. How do you spend your free time? Lifting weights.
It looks it.
I agree. I'll tell you what, these two guys meet in the county. It's going to be a heck of a match.
We'll be back with EBTV. We have 2 more matches we're going to televise later in the season. It's real nice that EBTV makes these presentations. I think people enjoy watching them at home. The rec kids like watching them. I know the wrestlers like watching them.
There, now Sergio's getting some nice backs.
We'll be doing the Woodbridge match, so stay tuned to your local TV3 and see some more East Brunswick wrestling. And hopefully the Bears will be on the winning end.
You could see Sergio's really, the punishment starting to show.
He's wearing him out,
Gonzalez,
yeah. He's up to a major decision now. He's got a 9-point lead. He's up 11-2 with 40 seconds to go in the 3rd. He's taking a lot out of this Perth Amboy wrestling.
Exactly.
He's looking
Here
for
it comes
more.
again.
He's
Here
going
it
for the
comes.
turn.
He is, Sergio's a
power
team
half.
wrestler. Here he goes. He's looking for a pin.
There's 2
That's
seconds. Got to hold him there for 2 seconds. Nice job by Sergio, putting more respect back on the board, bringing East Brunswick up to 15 points.
And that was not an easy match.
So as dismal as that team score might seem, we've had 4 winners for East Brunswick tonight. Brant Shine, Fabian Pleasant, Gary Morosi, and Sergio Garcia joining that circle.
At 171 for Perth Amboy, we have Sean Lockwood. I've got him as a 10th grader, 3 years wrestling. Record right now for this season, it's 0-1.
Got to talk to Glenn after the match. Not too many of these students are listing him as their favorite teacher. He must be grading too hard.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, you know, Glenn is no longer a teacher. Glenn is a math department chairman.
Ah, okay.
He's moving up in the world. Newlywed.
Yes, recently married to Shannon Daly, and
nice girl.
July. Still on his honeymoon, still a newlywed. His life is still good.
Yeah, wait a while. Only kidding, Glenn.
Nah, Shannon's a good girl.
Oh, yeah.
She did okay.
She's great, and she's really, you know, she's so supportive of wrestling. Her younger brother was a real good wrestler for East Brunswick. Her father was very involved with the rec program.
Her brother Sean, now assistant coach at Woodbridge.
Woodbridge, right?
Bryant, Jr. for East Brunswick, 7-7 on the season. Also with a good GPA, well over 3. So got some good academic students on the Bears team.
Yeah. Well, you have Glenn is the department chair for math, and you have Joe Satari, who's the department chair for English.
Yeah, Andy Scanlon, who's been the assistant coach, now is one of the vice principals at Churchill. All feeds into one another.
Quite a success story for the coaches.
Well,
they're quality guys, though. They really are.
As important as the athletic, you got to support the academics.
Yeah, and they do. I know they do.
We're at 0-0 here as the first period's winding down. 15 seconds to go. Both wrestlers warned for stalling. Our official's been aggressive with the stall call, which is good to see. Keeps the wrestlers moving, forces the action. Not letting the wrestlers rest out there. We've seen both teams in good condition this night. There has not been a lot of gasping and breathing for air and unnecessary injury times. These guys have all been going at it tonight.
Yeah, they have.
Got to give credit to them. Everybody's got their wrestlers in shape tonight.
And the wrestlers mentally are going at, they're going at it in the match. Nobody's really sitting back.
Red takes defense. Red is down.
All right, let's see what we have here from bottom. Nice stand up. Oh, we want to be careful with that. Don't want to be picking our man off the mat too many times in the match.
No, where you at? Brian Badero.
I think we're going to get a caution here.
Proper start and wait for the whistle.
Caution for false start. We're going to restart. You're allowed 2 freebies on the third false start. You give your opponent a free point, so you want to avoid jumping the gun or a bad position on the referee's position.
Now, Brian's got to really drive into his man. That was nice. He bumped across. He used his head.
Cut the corner. Nice job.
Yep.
Can't stand the legs, though. Needs to work up. Needs to come out to the side. Needs to stay heavy.
He's coming nice. Now he's chopping. But, some of the younger wrestlers don't understand is when you're in on a double and your head's to the side, you're not going to drive straight back. You're going to cut the corner and bump to the side where you can't defend.
Go top.
And again, that's part of being a more experienced wrestler, understanding the angles of wrestling, how to get an angle on your opponent so he can't defend. Brian's got a great tight waist in there. You can see it. It's wrapped almost right around to his back.
Well, Brian needs to stay aggressive, needs to stay out to the side, wants to avoid that stall call in a 0-0 match. He's been riding well in the second period. He's got another minute to go. He'll have choice in the third period. But he wants to keep this score as tight as possible, wants to keep his Perth Amboy opponent on the mat.
That's it. Watch out.
Wants to make himself heavy.
Watch the roll. Get your hips back up. There you go.
Try to pick up an ankle. Try to work him flat. He's hit for stalling. Referee feels he's riding.
Your position. Point red.
It's a second violation. That's going to lead to a point. 1-point penalty.
One of the things you can't do, and one of the things the official will not, he will not stand for, is if you're just floating on your man. You've really got to break him down, get him to his stomach, and then start working some kind of turn.
Perth Amboy wrestler playing it smart, just getting back to his base, doing just enough not to get hit for stalling himself.
Right, making the top man
carry his weight.
He's actually making the top man more obvious. But when you're just coming up and keeping your base, you're really forcing that top man to work harder so that he can satisfy the official.
Little bit of acting goes into it once in a while too,
Sure. Well, you know yourself because you wrestled that, you can tell when a guy has a pinning combination and maybe like a one-on-one and a half and he's just sitting back with it, or if a guy's really working it.
Well, if you're going to stall, you got to camouflage it.
Yeah, exactly. Just make the official happy for a while.
Some of the telltale signs of stalling on bottom, it's tying up the wrist, dropping your head to the mat, clamming up, bringing your elbows in.
Bringing your knees up and just sitting there.
And on top, some of the stall signs are, riding parallel.
All right, hanging around the hips too much, not attacking the shoulders, under the arms, any of that.
Hanging on a leg.
Yeah.
These are the things the official's looking for.
Oh, God, those are the things. One of the things you never want to do is hang on a leg. That's way too obvious. Well, we need a whizzer here.
Well, that one point might come back to haunt.
Yes, it is. On the buzzer.
As he gives up a one-point escape here. It's going to put him down 2-0.
Retakes defense.
Okay, let's see about conditioning here, Stu. They've both been working hard the whole match. This is period 3, correct?
Third period.
Takes ahead, tries to turn. Boy, that would have been a nice reversal. Here's one here.
Well, we're at 2-1. Where we wasn't for that stall point, we'd be at 1-1. So Brian has to stay aggressive. He needs the takedown. The Perth Amboy wrestler doesn't. He's got the 1-point lead. So Brian's got to become the aggressor here.
But when you become the aggressor, you still have to keep it in your mind that you can't give up bad positions. You can't get desperate.
Well, he needs to force the action and stay busy. That 2 minutes is going to tick down fast. He's got 1:35 to left to work with here.
You have to stay busy with good stuff. You can't overextend. You can't dive. Things that you could kick yourself later because you overextend it and he just spins behind you.
Good point. You can't get sloppy.
Now he's got to get his hips back. Throw in that whizzer and attack the head. No, he's doing exactly what he's supposed to. Good. That's nice.
Well, East Brunswick with 4 winners tonight, and this one's up for grabs.
Yeah.
Brian trying to make number 5.
Somebody's got to stay intense here.
We have one bout to follow. Nick Engelhardt's going to wrap it up for the Bears at 189. We started at 215.
Against Eric Obuck from Perth Amboy. The crowd's calling for a stalling warning here.
Yep, crowd's saying, who's stalling now?
I'm trying to figure that out. Any clues?
I know where that voice came from, though.
I tell you, one of the things that's very frustrating is, see that? The Perth Amboys wrestlers controlling that wrist, and man, that is a frustrating thing to get away from because you can't do anything. You can't shoot until your wrists are free.
Now, that's a stall tactic. So the crowd
might know a little bit more than we give them credit for.
Crowd's been a little quiet with the juice taken out of the Bears, down 40-15, but got some knowledgeable people in the stands.
Oh yeah, you look in the stands. Well, we can't do it right now, but I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wrestling families that have been around a long time.
That's just what you see. I'm sure there's more. With 11 seconds to go, Brian needs to get busy real fast here.
I'm looking at the Pazinkos up there and Richings, Parks. Coronas were here before. Ackermans.
Guido.
Yeah, Guido. And probably some people that were here before I was around.
So on that stall call, Perth Amboy steals a win here, 171, a 2-1 win.
Move it on the line, shake hands.
All right, here we are at our last match at 189. Eric O'Buck from Perth Amboy. 5-3 season record. He's a junior, wrestling for 5 years. Right now, his overall record is a 5-3.
Nick is 5-4 on the year. He's only been wrestling for 3 years. He's a senior. We're in our last bout of the night with Nick Engelhart of the Bears.
Keep wrestling, guys. Let's go.
Right.
Up 5-4. 5-4 on the season. 0-0 on the score.
Boy, for an upper weight, the Perth Amboy wrestler tried to shoot in and it looked like a fireman's. Nick is countering pretty good, but he can't sit back. Oh, he sat back.
Nick's been getting better with every match.
Yeah, it's body position and hip position again.
So gives up a 2-point takedown on the line.
I'd say get off and get a fresh start. Don't let the clock eat up.
Perth Amboy close to locking hands there. They quite didn't meet. You can come close with those hands, but you can't tie them up. We get a look at our team score, 43-15, and our bout score, 2-0 here at 189.
Go.
Now Nick's in good shape. Oh, he's got to free that wrist there. He would have been in great shape there. Turned in and probably caught his opponent on his back.
Nick needs to work up here.
Yep, turn his wrists out, try and free those wrists up. Don't let him curl them under.
Get his knees up under him, get his head off the mat. Eric O'Buck on top, in position, on top in score. 2-0 for Perth Amboy.
Nick trying, it looks like, oh no, he's trying to Peterson, but he didn't hook the leg.
First choice. First choice. First choice. Green takes defense.
All right, Nick is taken down. Wants to score a 2-point reversal here, get back in this match. Perth Amboy wrestler has a nice hammer in there. He's got to keep it at 90 degrees. He can't use it to punish. But let's see what he does with it. All right, he changed it off into a bar with a one-on-one on the other side. He's going to run that bar. One more step, and he's over. He lost the one-on-one on the other side, so Nick's trying to roll through. Oh, he's got a belly down here. He does not want to get caught.
Buck, a lot of time to work with. 1 minute left in the second. Nick's got to get to his belly. He's got to roll through. And he's caught.
There wasn't too much he could do from down there. He got caught.
Give us a final team score of 49-15.
Okay.
For an unsurmountable Perth Amboy win.
Well, I have to say that was a really good, technical, hard-working Perth Amboy team.
Now, as the teams shake hands, they're certainly proving they're the real deal in the red division, Perth Amboy. East Brunswick put together a little string at the end with 3 wins in the last 5 bouts, just not enough to come back. Just review the East Brunswick winners. We had Brant Shine making his varsity debut with a 6-0 win at 112. Fabian Pleasant with an 8-2 win at 145. Gary Morosi with the third period fall. I'm sorry, with the 2-0 victory, and Sergio Garcia with the third period fall. East Brunswick with picking up 4 wins out of 14 bouts, coming up on the short end of the stick tonight against a really tough Perth Amboy team. Just came out aggressive and came to wrestle, Coach.
Right. You know, congratulations to Coach Giordano. I know he works hard with his team, and this year could be their year.
Well, for Stu Kohn and Jeff Yannazzo, all the best and a Happy New Year, and we'll be back with additional coverage this season on EBTV.